you guys here for the after show. Woo! If you guys were in our original episode, man, oh man, oh man, we walked away with specific tips to use in our lives. We walked away being inspired, having an opportunity to learn from this amazing global icon that you see here, Professor Pauline Long. Listen. This is the season, this is the time to walk in amazing servant leadership, to finish, right, the ministry that you have started and complete that mission. So here we are, starting with the after show, giving you those tips, giving you an opportunity to ask those amazing questions. I am Dr. Tamisha, and this is Dr. Anita here with Ministry on Mission. And thank you for joining us again. Professor, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me again.
All
Thank
right.
you.
So, as we said, we learned some amazing things. So, Dr. Anita, how would you like to start off this after show?
Well, I know that so many people, Dr. Long, want to know about you and your family. They said, we know so much about who she is and what she's done, but like, who is she as a person? Is she married? Is she single? Is she available? We have people asking questions. They want to know about you and your family, children, all of those sorts of things. What can you share with us?
That's really kind, and that's really nice that people get interested. Um, I think a lot of people that know me know that I'm a very private person. I do what I need to do, but I do talk about my children because my children are my achievement. You know, people will list down everything that I've done, but I'll come back and say, hold on a minute, you got it wrong. I've only got two achievements, my two children. You know, I'm 21 next month in July, 14th of July. And honestly, I always tell them if I die and people coming to the funeral and they come there on stage and start saying, I achieved this, I did that for them, I did this, tell them no. Mom said her achievements are me and my sister.
I love that.
Because
It's
I
so
I
true. It's so
yes,
true.
because for me my number one thing is being a mother. It was really important to me and special because I had difficulty in, you know, having the children, having the first child. It was hard because I had a condition where when I started going on my monthly periods as a teenager, it actually did come late. I think it came at the age of 17, which is quite late. But when it came like torrential rain, like constant, month after month after month after month after month. And I remember my dad took the responsibility to take me from one gynecologist to the next, from one to the next. And he spent a lot of money because all these were private practices. And and I remember my father having conversation with me one day saying, look, because my father is a very strict man. Like we used to call him Guy Risky. Like we were scared of my dad, so strict. So my father pulled me on the side one day and said, listen here, young lady, yeah. I don't know what's going on because none of these, if you are trying to abort or get rid of a child, tell me now so we know how to deal with it. Hmm? So my father said that to me, and I just thought, oh my gosh, first of all, I was scared of this guy. So I did not even respond because how do you even respond to that?
Yeah.
So,
Goodness.
so what happened is, so we went to one really special gynecologist that was really known. He was known for resolving issues and problems that women had. Anyway, he did all his tests and examination and this and that and that. And you're going through while you're going to see all these gynecologists, they're putting all those things and they're putting that. And I'm thinking, hold on a minute, I'm still a virgin. These people putting all these things, it's not even good for me. Yeah. Anyway, This guy told my dad in front of me that because my dad now said, "Oh, if we're trying to cover up an abortion here, yeah, just let me know. Yeah, let me know." The gynecologist looked at my dad and said, "She cannot be aborting when she's never had any intercourse. It's clearly a medical issue here." So this went on for years, for another 4 years. And when I came to the UK, I came to the UK when I was about 19, going to 20. And this went on and went on, and I went to see a doctor, and they all gave me all sorts of medicine and everything until after 4 years, one of the doctors gave me medicine, which I don't even remember what it was. And this altered. But all of those gynecologists I used to see and all of those doctors, they all said I will never have kids. This complication is too deep. You have problems with your ovaries, blah, blah, blah. So for me, I always thought, you know what, I'm never gonna have kids. It's fine. I'm good. I'm cool. I'm good. I'm good. You know. But I loved kids. And so after obviously 6 years of this turmoil, finally one doctor gave me, I don't even remember what it was, and everything was regulated, just came back. And for the first time, I felt what every woman felt like. Okay, so you're just supposed to go under this cycle for 3 or 4 days or something, not a whole month, then roll in another month. And I was so nervous still because the doctors said, "Oh, you can't, you can't, you can't." So when I was pregnant with Kieran, with my first child, um, would you believe they did not, the test did not come positive until I was about 5 months.
Really? So the
Until
actual
I was about
pregnancy test.
5 months.
Oh my. How strange.
Yes, because we did all the tests. I remember we went to Kenya. We went to Kenya. We went to Kenya. Now, she's probably saying, "You've been poisoned or something, or witchcraft or something like that." I say, "No, it's just I'm just ill. I was just ill, so ill, but the doctors couldn't find what was wrong with me, and the tests were all negative
Yeah.
until I was 5 months. Can you
My goodness.
believe it?"
That's
And that's when I
wild.
thought, yes, and I thought, wow, I'm having a baby. I'm having a child. After all these years, they said you're never gonna have a child. All these
Yeah.
complications. I could not believe it, and so that's why for me, as soon as I found out I was pregnant, I quit work. I quit this. I quit everything. You quit everything. You quit
Yeah.
everything in a hurry because you treat yourself as delicate because you don't want anything going wrong. And if anything goes wrong, I was scared of blaming myself, and I
Mhm.
was like, I need to prove these doctors wrong. They said I would never have. I need to have this child, and lo and behold, I had this child. Yes, my second child was a miscarriage, but the third one is now my second. Came through, and I'm so grateful, and that's why. Oh, when I start
Yeah.
talking about my kids, I don't stop. Stop me, please, stop me. So that is
No, I love
that.
it. It's a big part of being a woman and what a lot of women go through that we don't get a chance to talk about our miscarriages. I miscarried, like it's difficult, to deal with it. And my gosh, you're
It's
so
difficult.
blessed. What a miracle your children are. No wonder
It's
you're so in
difficult.
love with them. I don't blame you one bit because I feel
Yes,
exactly the same
yes,
way
yes,
about my two.
Yes. I love working with mothers and
yes. I
babies.
know that. Yes,
Ooh.
people.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yes. So,
Oh,
as you know, that question, Dr. Anita, the question that you asked, yes, people asking, am I married? Am I single? A lot of people, even here in the UK, they always say, your life is a mystery. You turn up at events either with your PA or your photographer, but you've never turned up with a man or. So for me, I think what's been more important to me is like my two children, like I just protect, like some people didn't even know I have these two children. Like it's that treasure that you're keeping to yourself selfishly.
Right. And
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with
So
that either.
they'll get to know more with time as I feel free now. Like I feel like they're grown up, 18 and going to 21. My son's going to 21. Then I think I'm at that position now. I can talk about intimacy. Yeah. Do
mm.
you get what I mean? I don't know what Dr. Teresa and
Yes.
Dr. Anita, what you
But
think
you know
about
what?
what
I
they're saying.
think
I don't know. Am I
that is wisdom. That is wisdom.
huh?
Protecting your children, keeping them safe. When you're in the public eye and there are millions of people watching Dr.
Yeah.
Pauline Long, you don't necessarily want to put your children out there. I protect my children as well. Like, it's just not
Yeah.
something that, people do. We can be selfish like that. We can keep them. And
Yes,
I'm
I
telling you, it's
know.
a different
And
world now.
yeah, and I know there's a lady that used to so my son, I used to post my son's picture on Facebook, but that's because he was a racing driver. So I used to post to say, oh, congratulations, this weekend he's done really well in this race or whatever. And so, but there's a friend of mine, really close friend of mine, that knows that I have a daughter as well.
Mhm.
And then she pulled me on the side one day and she said, I don't understand. Are you ashamed of your daughter, of having a girl? You prefer the boy? How come you never
Oh
post your
my.
daughter? Never ever. She actually, and I had to look at her and tell her, you do not understand. My daughter is actually like my angel. So I'm selfish like that with my angel. She's got this thing in her where she can detect if something is wrong with me without even saying anything. So I had to explain to her, look, I'm only posting my son because he's already in the public eye as a racing driver. My daughter is not in the public eye, and I do not wish to post her anywhere until I feel like, okay, she's about that age, maybe about 16, 17. I can post her. Otherwise, there's no reason. So yeah, I think that private life, I find it difficult. But I'm coming out of that slowly because they're gone. The kids are gone now. They're older. I can't hold on to them for life. They're adults. So I better be ready to talk about myself now. There's no kid to hide. Yeah.
No more kids died.
And they
Oh,
just need to keep checking my social media. They need to check my social
that's
media. Maybe
right.
one day I'll talk about my,
Until
you
your
know,
kids, until your kids have kids, right? And then maybe.
until my kids have kids. Yes. No,
I
I'm
love it.
close. I'm very close to opening up and talking about, yeah, relationships. Yeah, because I actually find relationships quite interesting. I do. I find relationships quite fascinating. Sometimes I admire people that post they're with their husband or their wife and that. And sometimes I think, oh my gosh, should I post something? Should I say something as well? Should I? But I'm just like, no, 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 Dr. Pauline, you're not ready for that. You're not
You
ready.
juggle everything that you
And in
do.
fact, if I do, I think many people will be really shocked, be like, "What? She? Okay." But yeah, I think I will one day. Just
And until then, it's okay to be a woman of mystery. We like it.
yeah.
Yeah, we love it.
No, but yeah, I think I should one day, just so some random people don't come out and start saying, "Oh, she was my woman," or "Oh, she was with."
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you really have to one day,
Right.
one day when I'm gone, they'll start saying, "Oh, she was mad." So like, no, I won't be there to defend myself.
I love how you cherish your family and those that are close to you, though. How do you juggle the whole when they were even younger or just having kids and then doing all of the things that you did? Like, we see how in the beginning you kind of shut everything down and said, I'm taking care of me, I'm making sure that we're both safe, I and my child. So once you went back, because I mean, as a global icon, like, you just, it wasn't a random phrase that was associated with you. We talked about in the episode all of the many things that you have done and that you are currently doing, which are absolutely beautiful as a wonderful example of being a servant leader. But really, how do you juggle having a family and moving as you do in this earth? Like, it's amazing.
Do you know, um, I'd love to sit here and tell everybody that it was easy. Part of the reasons why I'm sitting here with my shoulder back and relaxed and I can laugh and I can tell you they're 18 and 21 now and I feel like I can just say it freely is because you take that deep breath and you're like, I've done it. You know, it wasn't easy, but there's always light at the end of the tunnel. Of course, we always wish there's light at the beginning of the tunnel, but or in the middle, but unfortunately, the light is always at the end.
Mhm.
And so, yes, when I found out I was pregnant with my first child, as I said earlier, I dropped everything. Like,
Mhm.
because I saw my mother was a mother to 11 of us. And of course, and I saw her juggling, you know, growing up in Kenya, I saw her juggling, taking care of us. Although she had help, she had a lot of people helping. She had at one point we had 5 people, like somebody combing our hair, cleaning our shoes, doing cooking for us, taking us to school. Because we were 11, how can she do it by herself? But she was there at the same time. But at the same time, she was this hardworking woman that brought money in. Of course, my dad was the breadwinner, but my mom also made sure she brought money in. Like, she's that kind of mother who, of course, as a dad, sometimes, you know, all of us who are privately educated, sometimes you would run out of money, but you know, mom sometimes would go under the pillow and bring some money that she's stashed there. You know what I mean? Some money that she's worked hard, she'll pull it out and she'll then take charge of the home and pay the school fees that run out or something like
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
I saw my mother do all this and I thought, you know what? I'm gonna become a full-time mom to my children. But when I was a full-time mom to my children, especially my first son, it's during that time when you're a mother, you sometimes you tend to have some free time. Like, so you sit down on the couch, you're watching TV, you're flicking while the baby's sleeping. And so a few times while that happened, you know, I saw some adverts of, you know, poor children, orphans, you know, charities on TV. And I was like, oh my God, African, they were showing a lot of African poor kids on TV and
Yes.
all that. I was like,
Yeah.
wow, you know, that empathy I felt. I was like, wow, I'm a mom here. I'm just a new mom. It's not easy to take care of this child. What about these children who are out there? I'm seeing them on TV and they don't have a mother, they don't have a father, they're relying on help from us.
Mhm.
What can one woman do? What can I do to also support these children? And you know, coming from Kenya, I came from a well-to-do family. Like, you know, I didn't, you know, we were shielded. You know, I didn't see poverty. In fact, when I came to this country and
Mhm.
people looking at you and trying to tell you, oh, so did you live in, were you so poor? And I'm looking at them thinking, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm so poor right now in England. I don't know where I came from. You know, where I came from. We
Totally
I can't
different.
begin to tell you the lifestyle I had. So, and so I was shielded growing up in Kenya because of they had my mom and dad worked very hard. And so I thought, you know, these kids, where are they? How come I didn't see them? But they were there. So I started going on this journey of connecting with these kids because now I became a mom. I had three hands. I had one for myself, one for my family, including my
Mm.
child. But then I grew another hand for other children.
Mm-hmm.
So I have three hands now. So then I started a beauty pageant called Mr. and Miss East Africa. This pageant with East Africans based in the UK. And what we did was we fundraised for children that lived on the streets in Uganda, Tanzania, and Kenya, all of these orphans, you know. And that was an incredible time. I started a campaign called the Shout Campaign, and where, you know, we have to shout. It literally meant we're shouting about children living on the streets. It's not right. It's not right to have a child live on the street. So, and so all of this, I funded all of this through the beauty pageant. And so I thought, you know what? I was a full time mom, but then I decided to sneak out a bit and also be able to do this to help other children. And at the time, you know, my husband at the time was very, very supportive as well. I mean, he didn't understand what I was doing. That's to be honest with you. He didn't understand. He was like, "What are you doing? Do you even know what you're doing? Why are you doing?" He was questioning, "Why are you doing all this? Why are
Mhm.
you helping all these people? Why are you?" And when God sends you to serve people, you don't even question. You just
Yeah.
go. Take your tools, go. And if you don't have the tools, just go. God is gonna head and provided the tools. Just go.
Right.
So I carried on, you know, with the beauty pageant, and along the line, you know, I met so many people in the industry that were supportive, you know, actors, actresses, producers, directors, choreographers, you know, DJs, all of these people were supporting my
Awesome.
cause. And so I started the BEFTA Awards, which is the Black Entertainment Film Fashion TV Awards, which is one of its kind in UK and Europe, to honor all of these people that were not being honored. They were not being honored. You know, at the end of the year, we were watching the Oscars, or at the beginning, we were watching the BAFTAs, you know, the British version. But what about all of this? You know, the African Caribbean, people from the African Caribbean background in the UK, they were also contributing to all of these industries, but you're not honoring them.
Right.
So, in between doing my motherhood and being a mom, I also then started the award ceremony. But I used to take my children to work. I took my children to work. And then in between, after after the pageant, then the award, then I met so many people that were doing amazing, like charitable causes, you know, all the humanitarians. I met so many people that were doing businesses that needed promoted, so many people that had things to talk about. And so then
Mhm.
that's when I went into television on Sky
Wow.
Channel 182 at the time. I went into television, and that was the beginning of the Pauline Long Show, where I interviewed more than 4,000 guests. So all of this time, I was even looking at pictures the other day. My kids used to be so noisy at the TV station, at the green room. They had to be separated. Literally, one of them had to stay in the green room. One of them had to come inside the studio and sit in the corner and not even
Oh,
cough. We have to separate them. I remember
oh my
because I
goodness.
used to go live on air every, you know,
Yeah.
Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and it was, yeah, it was amazing experience, you know, live on air to people globally and the UK, you know, millions of viewers. And so again, you know, I took my kids to work. I took them to work when I built my first film studio. After that, you know, TV, I built the film studio. And I remember my husband, we were driving to London sometimes 3 in the morning, but we would bring the kids in the back of the car. They would sleep in the back of the car. In my office, there was an area for them to study and to sleep and to eat as well. You know, so literally, that's how I managed to not have a childminder, but always be around my kids. And I would be, although people, you know, I was booked to speak there, to speak here, to speak where is she going to be with her children? She would check fast. My children would have to come fast. It doesn't matter if it's the biggest platform on earth that I have to speak at. My children, she always knew my children have to come fast. She would then get back to the person and say, no, I'm sorry, she can't make it. But then if I can make it, I can make it. But
As the way it should
I
be.
always put the children. I always put the children first, and they always came with me at work. And so for me, do I say I'm lucky or blessed? No, I'd say that's how I wanted it to be. That's how I curated it. That's how, I mean, I I stopped working. When I stopped working, I was getting very well, very good pay. But it was, for me, that's what I decided. Drop everything, drop the money, drop the what. And I remember at the time, I was supporting quite a few relatives back home. You have to go to Western Union, send money and that. But when I stopped working, obviously, when the baby was coming, I said to them, look, guys, I don't work anymore. I can't send you money. They were not happy at all. That's the downside when you're a
Yeah.
full-time mom and they keep reminding you, are you the first to have a child? Why do you have to stop working just because you're having a child? I had a lot of that. So now you're just a mom. You just sit there. You're just a mom. No, I wasn't just sitting there. Girl, I was strategizing on how to serve people. I was strategizing on how to also build onto what I want to do in the future with myself and with everybody. I was strategizing on how I want to make sure that these kids come up, how they grow. I was strategizing because those early years of your child are very important, and I wanted to be around. Yeah. So yes, I had a lot of that negativity, but I took the positive out of it. And today I can say, look, if I have to retire today, I can retire a very happy person, you know. Um, yeah. So juggling family and everything that I've done has been, honestly, if I say it's been easy, some people will be like, what she talking about? But I'm going to be honest, it's been very easy. Very easy. Very. In fact, maybe right
Yeah.
now is when I'm finding it hard. Like, it's like almost like I need to find myself again. Like, I need to
But
find
when you do what you
myself
love,
again because
it's easy. Yeah.
there's no excuse there. Yeah.
Yeah, when you love it, it is easy. When you love your kids, you can
Yes.
easily, they're first. That's your first ministry, right? This is, on
Yes,
our show here,
absolutely.
Ministry on Mission, it's like we define what is your ministry and then have you finished that mission. And to come to the place where your children are old enough to be adults themselves, that's like mission complete. Like you give
That's
them a
like,
life,
that's it.
they
I'm
see you.
done. I'm done. Like, you know,
We should we should give you the award for mommying.
songs. You don't understand. Yeah, because now I can talk about this. Before I couldn't talk about this because in the UK there's a bit of like, um, what would I say? If you tell somebody that your kids are privately educated or you're taking your kids to private school, they look at you like, what? Like,
A
why don't
little
you
bit
just
of
take
that.
them to normal school? Like, yeah, they'll be like, oh, so you think you're more important? So you think,
Right.
So I never ever spoke about that. So the other thing as well is I worked so hard. I mean, me and my husband, we did, but I put more in it so that these kids could, go to private school, and both of them, it was like paying two mortgages. And so that's what I'm saying. I'm done. I am so happy and I'm so done. Like, I'm retired. It's not easy paying private school for two children out here. And so yeah, I'm quite pleased. Even through, of course, through hardship, there was some days that were hard. Some days were hard. Some days were so hard. But I never, ever, ever, ever regretted being a mother. And I never, ever, ever regretted that hard work that I put in. And I remember some days there was no sleep, literally, because I would go back. I would, because I used to commute from London to the town in Northampton. And there are days when I would drop the children to school in the morning, get back to Northampton, which is about, yes, it will be 2 hours and a half on the train from where I'm coming from in London, get back to the school before 6 p.m. in time to pick them up, take them home, prepare dinner, do their laundry, do the ironing. I have to do all this in the night because the morning is just all rushed. Make sure their homework is done. By the time all of this is done, their dad came back, and then hand over to their dad, go back to London, travel back to London to work. By the time I finish at the studio, will be maybe 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. Travel back home. By the time I would get home, it would be 4 a.m. By the time the kids would wake up, it would be 6. Remember, I've not even slept. It will be 6. I have to get them ready. Then the cycle begins. Oh, I'm telling you, some days were hard, but it's all worth it.
What a sacrifice. And you are a sacrificial person. This is like the definition of who you are. You've made many sacrifices, and it's going to show up in the lives of your children. And not only them, but people like myself and Dr. Tamisha that are really looking at other women doing phenomenal, phenomenal things.
Yeah.
But it
Mm-hmm.
costs, right? There's sacrifice, there's blood,
Oh,
sweat,
there's
and tears
sacrifices.
to
That's
do these
sacrifices.
things.
Oh,
It's
it's,
more
it's
than
you
a
have to
notion.
sacrifice. It's either you have to sacrifice your life, or you sacrifice the other people's life in your family. Which one? Which one do you
Yeah.
want to do? It's
Yeah.
it's it's easy for women. Women will easily sacrifice their lives because they don't want to see the other ones going through pain. It's easy for us that way. And I would imagine there's so many women with the similar story to mine that
Yes.
just sacrifice so much that if you see them now wearing their stiletto and put their red lipstick on and they're going with their shoulder high up right now and they feel free, please leave them. Let them be free.
Leave them
Let
alone.
them free.
Let
Leave them
them
alone.
strut.
Leave them alone. Leave them alone. If they want to post on Instagram every day where they are, every day of the week, sipping champagne or whatever, please leave them alone.
They've earned the right, right?
They have earned that right.
Wonderful. And
Yeah.
you really, in your platform, give women so much freedom there. It's like be that person, go ahead and become that person that you've wanted to be because you've done
That's
so
it.
much for others. And I'm
Mhm.
so excited just to continue to watch you and see what happens next with Dr. Pauline Long, like what's going to be coming up next and how you're going to really just blossom. Because I don't see you retiring anytime soon. Even though you mentioned that word, I just can't imagine.
Retiring from maybe the creative side, um, but not being a servant. That's why I'm saying, I'm going into, the line of politics, presidency. But, retiring from, the creative side, yeah, possibly, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, you are actually running for president of Kenya.
Yeah, so that's
Wow.
that's my goal. Yes.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. And Dr. Nita, as you said, with you, Dr. Long, just uplifting those who, as you did with the BAFTA Awards and now with the I Am a Superwoman club and book that y'all have to catch the show because she dropped some major things that y'all don't know yet.
Yeah.
But when you see the
No,
show,
no, no.
you'll find out. But joining the I Am a Superwoman Club, we're esteemed, we're just excited that you offered for us to be a part of that. And so the opportunity to be in that club, to share that club with the world, and then to also be a part of your upcoming book. Thank you so much. We don't want to hold you long, even though we would keep you as long as we could. But we appreciate you so much for sharing about your life, for sharing about multiple portions of your life, some
Mhm.
secrets that I'm sure many people never knew, but are ever so appreciative because
Yeah.
you shed light for so many of us that are not told thank you for what you do, are not said to we appreciate you, are
Yes.
not said to we see that there are many struggles and challenges that you face, that you've
Mhm.
gone through, but you are still accomplishing, you are still raising your children, you are still providing for them so much. And so we say thank you for all that you took time to expose and provide your children, right?
Yes.
Because of them being in the studio with you, I'm sure their life will never be the same because they
Yes.
saw a mom that cooked for them and spent time with them, saw that their homework was done, even in the midst of, because kids see and notice more than many of us appreciate. I don't think
Yes.
we acknowledge how much they really see. So they got a
Mhm.
chance to see you be
Yes.
mom, to see you be producer, to see you be creative extraordinaire, right? To see you be a global icon. So
Yeah.
thank you, thank you for sharing your life with us and giving us an opportunity to share it with the world in the way that you are here and with the I Am Superwoman Club. So, thanks again. Is there any parting word that you would like to share with individuals before we end today?
I I think I've shared more than enough. I've I've given more than I should have given them. Don't you think? But I just want to just encourage, you know, everyone out there, whatever you're going through, we're all going through something, but whatever you're going through, just stay the course. There's always a beginning for something and there's an end. It will end, you know. But don't put your life on hold when you're waiting for it to end, because life is very unpredictable. When one challenge comes, another one is waiting to get in. So just keep moving. It doesn't matter. Let them just get in and find a seat somewhere. Let them just get in. Tell the challengers, get in, sit there, sit there, sit there, you sit there. Me, I'm here living my life. Just carry on living, no matter what challenge you're facing.
Oh, that's so good. Oh, that was so good. Okay, thank you so much. What a beautiful way to end such a wonderful time as we bridge into the future. You all make sure that you follow Dr. Long and make sure that you also join the I Am a Superwoman Club. This is an amazing opportunity. So, thank you again for offering that to us, providing us with these beautiful life lessons and examples. Thank you guys for joining us on Ministry on Mission, the after show with Dr. Tamisha and Dr. Anita. We will see you all next time. Thank you so much. Bye bye.